What's up, Cabbage Monster?
What's up, skunk mama?
Yeah, buddy. The little baby's outside again right now.
Now you got skunks. You just need a raccoon and an owl.
And a fox.
And a fox.
You have a fox.
You're supposed to be the fox of this group.
Not today. Listen, I took a self-care weekend because I haven't been feeling, okay, Bean only died it's almost 3 months now, but still, that's not even a lot. I feel crazy. I've been going, trying to distract myself, and it all caught up with me this week, and I just feel like a mess. So I took this weekend. I didn't put any makeup on. I cleaned my house. I didn't go anywhere. I think I feel a little bit better, but I still feel weird. And then literally every horoscope that I read said, you need time to yourself. Your heart is fucked and your mind is fucked. And then I got a tarot reading today. And it said the same thing, like your heart, you're on a journey and you have to get over this, like, whatever, you know what I mean? This, like, hard time. So, yeah.
I always feel fine until I talk to my dad, and then, like, he mixes some shit up.
Yeah. I'm sure he does it on purpose.
Well, I told you before, like, he was like, I just want you to tell me the truth, and I won't be mad if you tell me the truth. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And he's like, does anyone know where your mother's ashes are? And I was like, yeah, motherfucker, they're in my house on my bookshelf. No, like, no one knows where my mom's ashes are. You ignorant, insane old man.
And it, like, took him this long to wonder that?
Yeah.
He's insane.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to tell people, if anybody's ever heard my lectures or read the things that I write on Twitter or online, and I assume that they probably have if they're listening to this podcast and know who I am, but I often talk about not killing bugs. And were I to have had a camera, I would have proved my dedication this afternoon when I caught and released one of the largest, hairiest millipede centipede things I chased around that. It was so fast, all those legs just going a million billion miles an hour, and I got them and put them outside. And I thought to myself, I should have taken a video of that shit. If people could have seen me, Laurel and Hardy, and around my house chasing that goddamn thing, the whole time going, it's okay, buddy, it's okay, buddy, it's okay, buddy, you're going outside, buddy, you're going outside, buddy, chasing it around.
Centipedes are so fucking disgusting. That would have been really hard for me, but I had my moment of that the other day too, because there was a earwig in here on my kitchen cabinet, and I'm like, bleh! Like, what are you good for? But I caught him and put him outside. Earwigs are so fucking gross to me.
Are they grosser than big, huge, hairy, multi-legged centipede?
No. You know millipedes and centipedes are two different things, right? Millipedes are like shiny. Centipedes are like furry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think, you know what else you know what made it easier, like, to catch him and not be so grossed out about him?
What?
The comedic chase around the hallway and living room. Like, it made it funnier and funnier until eventually, when I was taking him outside, I was like, enjoy your freedom, my friend. It is well earned, but I have succeeded in my mission.
I don't know why I just had a flashback. You just told me that I need an owl in my backyard, and my friend who's the
that you need a what in your backyard?
An owl. You said I need an owl.
Yeah.
But my friend who's like a reseller vintage guy, he puts all these vintage shirts that he finds in his store, in his Instagram story, and you can, like, bid on them. And he posted a shirt tonight that had a little pine tree on it, and it said, "Save toilet paper, wipe your ass with an owl."
That's mean.
Like, don't do it. I know. I almost answered. I was like, no, nobody do that. That would scratch your beehole off anyway.
No, I mean, if it was kicking and screaming, it would rip your asshole open.
You would kick and scream if somebody tried to wipe their butt with you.
I mean, it depends on what kind of friend they are.
Remember whenever you came over the other day and I have apple tree? I know. You came over the other day and I have an apple tree on my front yard, and I told you I never bit one of the apples because I thought it was weird. And then you bit one, and then you're like, just bite it. So I bit one, and then I was going to bring it in the house, and you're like, don't eat the rest of it. Unripe apples will give you a bad tummy. And then I said, I'll give it to the possum. I said, can I give it to the possum? Whatever we said. And then you said it would give me a bad tummy, and I'm like, will it give the possum poops too? I swear. After you left, I went in the other room and I was like, fuck it. I could not stop laughing. It was so, I was dying.
That possum has eaten a lot worse than an apple off a tree.
I know, I saw the possum already tonight. The same possum comes every night. It's white.
That possum has had more fast food that in the past week than you or I have in the past year.
I give him nice. The skunk is out there right now eating Lara bars and granola and peanuts. I put out a whole plate. Well, you know what I found out yesterday? I like to scoop you on things because it never happens. So this is how I feel like scoop you right now.
Here we go.
Did you know that our city has a community fairy garden?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I know where it is, and we're gonna go there. My friend Julie posted it on her Facebook, and we're gonna go there.
Did you know that our city's mascot is a dog?
I did know that. And then they showed that little map, and they showed how the city was like shaped like a dog.
Yeah.
That's how I landed here. That was my origin story. No, not really.
Did you know that the sewer tunnels under Royal Oak, you can, if you get into them at 11 Mile, you can walk them all the way to 14 Mile?
No, I didn't know that.
Me and my friends, when we were punk rock kids, we lifted a grate and then went down in the sewers and had flashlights and stuff, and we came up at like 13 Mile, but we could have gone further.
Isn't that just regular sewers? That's not like a secret.
No, like not all sewers are like walkable. It's not like you see in movies, like it's not in Chud. Every city in the world doesn't have 6-foot tunnel like underneath them.
Wait, it's not Ninja Turtles under there? Are you sure?
No, most of them are like most of them are like 12-inch pipes. That's it.
Well, what happens if people have to go down there and fix something?
I mean, there's areas where you can go down and fix stuff, but usually if the sewer or the drains back up, they just tear up the road and get at the pipe.
Ugh, get at the pipe.
Back to talking about UFC.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was gonna bring that up. Listen, that
get at the pipe.
Not till September. Ew. So listen. So you did Bridget Marquardt's podcast. We already talked about that, but it dropped today, so people can watch it or listen to it on Apple and Spotify and wherever. It's called Ghost Magnet. I didn't listen to it yet. Truth be told, I'll listen to it tomorrow. But so I lurked her social media, and she barely follows anybody, and she follows like 10 UFC fighters, so she watches the fights. And they weren't just like Conor McGregor; they were like deep ass fighters. I was like, oh, she's not even a casual either.
She's probably a fan.
I know. So if we ever hang out with her, we gotta talk about fights.
Okay.
I was really surprised.
There was something else about that I wanted to say. Bridget Marquardt.
What did you talk about?
Oh, I know. Do you know our friends who, I won't say their names because I don't think they ever say their names on their Twitch stream. They have a Twitch stream and they play video games. You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to go on their show and play video games, but I think you and I should go on their show and play video games.
I know. I don't know why you want me to do that. I don't play video games.
Neither do I. That's why I think it's funny.
Only if we can play like old ass video. I don't want to play like some new video. I don't want to play Zombies in a House. I don't want to play Murdery. I don't want to play Grand Theft Auto. I want to play like a little nugget character person.
Yeah, no. One of the last times I went on, I played Space Invaders from the Atari 2600. But I think that you and I should play like Mario Kart.
Yeah, I can do that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I guess. Now, did you listen to the Web Crawlers episode about the Salem witch trials?
Some of it, yes.
Okay, so the whole, it's obviously I love every episode of the show, and I always feel like it's like me sitting there with my friends talking about shit and not being like super serious, but like how friends would talk about shit. It's like spot on. So anyway, so they get through the whole episode, and there was like a historian lady who wrote a book and blah 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 at the beginning, and she was cute. But then it got okay. I feel like I'm being shady, but I don't care, and not shady towards the web crawlers because I love them, but shady towards their guest. Anyway, the they had a girl on who is the director of education at the Salem Witch Museum. And it was like such a bum out. Like, I don't know. She was talking like more of a historian and not like a witch. And every time she'd be like, okay, well it's not like brooms and cats and like she would differentiate between the history and like modern witchcraft, and she'd be like, okay, so most people don't believe that like your neighbor could put a curse on you. And I'm like, yeah, actually, witches do believe in that. Like everything she was saying was like so anti witchy. I'm like, you run the museum, and she said she's a master. She did her thesis on witchcraft. I'm sure she's very smart, but I was like waiting with bated breath. I'm like, Allie, ask her if she's a witch. Just do it. And she didn't do it, but I could tell. I'm like, she is not a witch, and it bummed me out.
That's what happens though when you have museums and stuff. They're usually run by scholarly collegiate people who have spent years studying the historical phenomena, and that's the context in which they speak about it. And sometimes
I know.
that's okay, but sometimes, like, I have one of my examples. So I have a friend, I have no names, but I have a friend who is an astronomer and works at a large telescope somewhere in the United States. And he adamantly does not believe in UFOs and flying saucers. He thinks that sure, there might be alien life somewhere out in the galaxy, but they're not flying around on our planet. And as an astronomer, like, I always took his opinion to be very educated and well balanced, and that's his field of specialty. And then he was talking to me about how, like, although he's an astronomer and that's his field of study and that's what his PhD is in, he never looks at the sky. He spends all day, all night at his job looking at like data graphs and computer generated imagery of the sky and photographs taken through long-term telescopes that look like, he doesn't, like, I was like, when was the last time you, this was a conversation, this is a couple-year-old conversation, but I said, like, when was the last time you went out and looked at the sky? He's like, I don't know, I'd sleep at night. And I was like, but don't you look at the sky at your job? And he's like, no, I crunch data from computers all day long. And then I was like, can't you just look at the sky? Like, your job
Yeah.
is looking at the sky.
Last time I checked. I know that's exactly how this girl came off. I'm like, wait, so you think, I don't know. And like she was very like passionate about how people were persecuted for this type of thing and what people went through, and I get that, but it was like uh, any modern day witchery just like didn't resonate with her. And I'm like, what do you like? That's fine. Okay, let's say it was just like a Massachusetts museum and that was just like people, but it's like if it's a witchcraft museum, like I don't fucking know. It was just a bum out. Like she was very matter of fact and very like flippant about stuff that we would like to talk about.
It's just, again, it's the perspective that people have because, like, my neighbors think that I'm insane for believing in UFOs and Bigfoot and witchcraft and all that stuff that I do, and that I built this standing stone in my backyard, and they see me out there at night and clearing crystals and water and stuff like that. They all think that that's super bizarre, but at the same time, like, they wake up every Sunday at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to church and like drink wine that becomes the blood of Jesus and eat crackers that are the body of Jesus and sing and hold their hands up in the air, and often while talking to me will quote scripture. That's, to me, it's not crazy, but it's just their version of what I'm doing.
100%. And we've talked about this before too, how they all like chant at the same time. Would they all say like the Our Father, whatever? All the things that you say out loud, they say it all monotone and weird at the same time. Like that's fucking weird.
Well, I mean, people say, like, isn't it interesting that Congress is now starting to talk about UFOs? And I'm like, not really. Congress begins with a prayer to a giant man in the sky. Like,
Yeah.
if you're already at that level, like, let's just push it a little more. Let's change some of the words around and start deep thinking the themes that are already accepted.
Mm-hmm. We just need our own museum and bar and church and I don't know.
Library and tattoo parlor
And animal sanctuary.
and animal sanctuary.
It's doable.
I
feel like.
guess so.
Just manifest it.
I'm getting old. I'm losing a lot of my power.
You're a liar. You're getting more.
Shh, don't tell anybody. It's a secret.
Nice cackle.
I'm getting stronger. Shh, don't tell anyone.
I know. You posted that fucking thirst trap on Twitter today and everybody said you look muscly.
I didn't even like, here's the God's honest truth. God's honest truth. I swear to God, because I never post pictures of myself like that, like a selfie
I know
picture.
you don't.
I woke up, had a cup of coffee, and then I was walking in the family room, and I have a mirror in my family room, and I thought to myself, oh, I don't look like a monster. Like, what is up with me this morning not looking like a complete monster? And I took a picture of myself to see that I don't photograph well, and my face doesn't translate well to television or film. And so I took that picture and I was like, oh, I don't even look bad in this photograph. And so it really was an instance of like, look cute, might delete later. And I posted it. And then people were like, thirst trap, thirst trap. I'm like, it's not a thirst trap. It's just, I thought I looked okay. And that is uncommon in my brain to think that I look okay. I have such body dysmorphia problems. It's crazy.
Same here. Same. Every time I post a selfie, I'm like, oh, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll like wait 2 days, and then I'm like, oh, but no, I was proud of you. You did look nice. I can say that.
People don't understand. Like, a lot of people think that I do that weird popped eyebrow thing because it's funny and weird and it makes me look weird and whatever. The reality, the real story behind me doing that is I can't stand looking at photographs of myself. But if I'm making a funny face, then it makes me okay with photographs of myself. So if I pop my eyebrow, it's me making a funny face, and then I'm okay with the photograph. So I just started doing it in every photograph. And people think it's like just me being weird, but it's me not being able to look at my own face. That's a problem.
I mean, I totally get that, though. Like, when you, I obviously know that about you already, but when you explained that to me, it made so much sense, because it was like, I fucking hate pictures of myself too. I think I have a big ass nose, and I know you hate your nose, and we're just like self-deprecating as fuck. But like, I'm not gonna kill myself. I just like, it's just how we are. Like, I'll just make fun of myself. I don't care. But when you said it, it made so much sense, because it was like, oh, if I do this to my face and somebody thinks it's a bad picture of me, or I think it's a bad picture of me, it's like, that's not my real face, because I'm twisting my face. So
right.
It's like a get out of whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to get a jail-free card.
Exactly. That's why I used to pose with Beanie over half my face. That was our signature pose, because I don't like full-on pictures of myself. I feel weird.
That's like, I hate, like, that's why, honestly, when I'm on television, like, I cannot watch myself on television. Seeing my face.
Well, those are like the worst angles, though.
The worst angles.
I know.
And then if they do color grading, like on Ghost Stalkers, our color grading was really bad. And I looked like blue in a lot of the episodes. And it was just, whenever I'm in the car in Ghost Stalkers and Chad's driving, like, I'm sitting, I'm not thinking that I'm on camera. So I'm like all slouched and my double chin is out and like I look blue and I'm fucking hot because we've been driving around in a car in a circle for 10 hours saying the same thing over and over again. That's a little inside baseball, inside television secret. Whenever you see people driving around on television shows, they're literally driving around in a circle. Like, watch the backgrounds. We're just going around and around and saying the same things over and over and over again.
I like don't even know how I would do that either. I would be like, literally nobody is allowed to shoot me from profile. Like, absolutely not. Yeah.
I mean, that's when we were talking about when we were at the zoo about you can get caricatures at the zoo. Like, no, thank you. Because I know immediately you're going to draw my nose like the size of America.
I know, we walked past that booth and we're like, hey, do you want to have like every bad feature on your face emphasized for a shitty cartoon? And we're like, no.
And the guy's going to probably put me on a skateboard or like a Sea-Doo. And like, I've never ridden either of those things.
He would put you coming out of a UFO, I bet. Now somebody's going to send us a caricature and we're just going to fucking cry.
With a giant nose.
Yeah, great.
Perfect.
Great. We haven't talked about the Ghostbusters trailer.
The newest one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It looks so good.
I'm all right with it, I guess.
Oh, jeez.
Listen, we have to go back into this realm. I am not a big fan of the movie Ghostbusters.
Ew, stop. Why? Why do you do this to yourself? We're gonna change What's Up Weirdo's name to John Tenney slams every movie you've ever loved.
Or hasn't seen.
Oh, yeah, or hasn't even cared to watch it and hates it, even though he doesn't know what it's about.
I don't know. I just never. I watched Ghostbusters and I liked it, but I never fell into that. I never thought it was great. I never thought it was like this super brilliant movie.
This is depressing.
So I was never really excited with Ghostbusters 2 or the reboot or this one. This one looks fine. I'll go and see it, but I mean, whatever. I'm not that excited about it. I'd rather go and see that Green Knight movie.
I know we're gonna go see that. And that Lamb movie.
And the Lamb movie. Oh, I do like the fact that Paul Rudd is in the new Ghostbusters movie. That's something to be excited about.
Yeah, it looks good. Even the effects and stuff look good. I feel like there's gonna be like surprises in it, like weird walk-ons and stuff. But the Lamb movie, if you guys haven't seen, just go on YouTube and put Lamb trailer, Lamb, like a lamb. It's wild. It's an A24 movie, like Who Made Midsummer. They make all fucking weird movies, and they're so good. It looks so good. We need to work with A24.
I don't know. The Ghostbusters movie, I'm thinking about it now. When I saw all of the little Stay Puft Marshmallow Men, I wasn't extremely happy about that.
I was.
You were?
Our whole brand is liking small fat versions of other things. How did you not get stoked?
I don't know. I like small fat burbs that better than I like small fat Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Small fat burbs. We literally talk about birds every day.
Every day.
My woodpecker got a boyfriend this week. It was very exciting for me.
It is pretty exciting.
I know.
I found out that the house across the street from me that was for sale,
Mm-hmm.
it was it's one of those houses that got bought by like a corporation and now it's going to become a rental.
No.
Yep. Yeah, they bought 3 houses on my block in the past year. The same company.
Dang. How'd you find that out?
Neighborhood gossip, the Mrs. Kravitz that lives across the street.
Got it. Remember we went to City Hall the other day to find the history of our houses and they said we don't keep the history of anything?
Royal Oak in the gutter.
Oh my God. They literally told me, like, and then we were like, okay, remember, like, you know how when you fix your house or you're going to put up a new fence or you're going to put up a new porch and you have to pull permits or whatever you have to do. We're like, so nobody has to pull anything because Royal Oak has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, they're like, we don't keep track of those permits after a certain amount of time, and we haven't kept track on the historical history of the house anymore. And then I asked for a plat graph so I could see the property, and the woman went to a website that I could have gone to and printed out the shittiest, it just like had my address and then a square box.
We were both literally trying to find the property lines of our property because we both have like weird problems with like not our neighbors, but like whatever, the lawns next to us, like we're trying to figure shit out. And they're just like, here's this weird Lego map that has no bearing on your house or your property whatsoever. God, it was so unhelpful. So
thanks for your property taxes. We're not doing anything with them.
Yeah, nothing. I know.
That's not true. I get my garbage picked up every week.
Same.
So they're doing something. What do you have?
So I learned a new thing this week that I didn't know. My friend Neil, he owns like a t-shirt company called Western Evil, and they make like all different shirts and dresses and bags and stuff about serial killers. So he's been doing this series on TikTok about rock and roll songs that are about murders or crimes. What? Just a motorcycle. It's fine.
Daytona 500.
Why don't they just drive in my living room? Anyway, so he did a video about Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal the other day, and he said that Smooth Criminal is about Richard Ramirez, and I didn't fucking know. Yeah, I get, yes. So he goes through it all in the TikTok, and then he says that when he says, Annie, are you okay? It's about Michael Jackson was taking a CPR class at the time, and he just said that because that was the fucking CPR dummy's name. What? Is that crazy?
That is pretty crazy.
He said both things were like in Jermaine Jackson's book or some shit. So it's real. I've never heard that in my life.
I've never heard that in my life. What if all of Michael Jackson's songs are about serial killers and we just are now finding out?
I know. He said that initially he was trying to make it about Al Capone, and then it just went into a Richard Ramirez thing. And then, so for the video of Smooth Criminal, it's like they're in like those mobster outfits. So he went with that theme for the video, but not for the lyrics. Because he didn't want to have like a murdery music video.
What if like Man in the Mirror is about like Ted Bundy?
I know. What if it is? Wild times. I thought that was so interesting.
I'm gonna now whenever I hear Michael Jackson songs, I'm gonna try and figure out which serial killer he's talking about.
Let's do it. That should be one of our Patreon videos. We'll just put on different songs
and
say who it's about.
And say which serial killer it's about?
Yes.
All
We'll just
right.
ruin everybody's childhood more than it has already been ruined by Michael Jackson. Did you listen to Amy's new Amy has that podcast called Haunted Road? Did you listen to the new episode?
No.
Okay, so she did an episode about the Valley Inn in Rhode Island. Have you been there?
No.
I haven't either. We should go there though. But she said that the haunting there is related to the one and only time in U.S. history that someone got convicted and executed from the testimony of a ghost.
Yes. I
didn't
that.
know that.
I know that story. I didn't know that it was associated with a certain place.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah. Do you know the voodoo shotgun case? That's my favorite one.
No.
So it's not a ghost, but it's a really crazy story back in like 1912 or something like that. But this guy shot someone on his property and then went to court, and they were in court, and one of the jurors said, you know, the gun, if the gun was used to kill someone, then if you shoot it, it'll bleed.
What?
And yeah, and the juror was like, it's voodoo magic, and like we know that this is how it works. And so, you know, turn of the century, who knows what was going on, but they brought the shotgun into the court and shot it, and the shotgun bled. And the guy who supposedly committed the murder freaked out so bad, he jumped up, ran out of court, and before they caught him, he had grabbed a knife and he stabbed himself in the chest and killed himself.
What?
The case of the voodoo shotgun.
Is that on your website?
Yes, it is.
It sounds like it would be. Dang, I want to Google that.
And should I have a link to the original newspaper article about it?
That's crazy.
And I think there's something in there too about a chicken being killed, but I don't remember that part.
No killing chickens.
No
And
killing
no
chickens.
witchcraft with owls.
You know what I learned today?
What?
I learned that plastic recycled from the ocean is like a fake thing.
What do you mean it's fake?
So the recovery of like plastic out of the ocean is a thing, but then it's so hard to clean and wash that it usually makes up like less than 1% of recycled plastic, because even if it has like microscopic sand in it, it'll mess up the recycling process. And so what they'll do is they'll clean like a tiny little bit, and then they'll throw it in with regular plastic and say like, this is also made from recyclable sea plastic, but like it's not anything negligible that would make any difference to like cleaning up the oceans. And then I got sad.
I do not like that story. There's like different shoe brands that supposedly make their shoes out of recycled plastic.
Yeah, I think Adidas like talks about it, and I think there's a lawsuit against them for claiming that like it's recovered ocean plastic, and there are all these groups who are like, no, it's not. It's 0.02% recycled ocean plastic, which I mean, it's better than nothing, but like it's not 100% recycled plastic out of the ocean. It's just they take regular plastic and then mix a couple squibbles of ocean plastic in with it and say, there it is, buy it. We're being good stewards of the earth.
Yeah. I mean, if they said the percent, that would be fine. Because, I mean, if there's like billions of pounds of plastic garbage in the ocean and they use like some of it, that's better than nothing. But still, you have to like have a disclaimer. You can't just be like, this whole shoe is made out of water bottles.
Yeah. And then one of the things that I was watching too was talking about like one of the biggest ships that does recycled plastic out of the ocean, like in one day, it can take out 2 tons of plastic from the ocean, which is super awesome. But then they were saying like, but that ship is so big, the amount of like oil and chemicals it spills into the water while it's recovering the plastic doesn't like help.
We're all gonna light on fire.
Yep.
That was very uplifting.
Thanks. I just wanted to tell you that everything that we know is a scam.
Like when we get a church, bar, tattoo shop, animal sanctuary, I hope you get up on the altar and say some inspiring ass shit like that.
Yeah, it'll be real great. People will be super happy.
And then, no, listen, that's when I bring around the bucket of candy. And then everybody will be excited again.
That's when, okay, so here's the thing. You bring out the bucket of candy, but the door that you come out of lets loose 4 baby goats as well. So you have a bucket of candy and 4 baby goats start running around right after I bummed everybody out with the earth being filthy with plastic.
Yeah, yeah.
And talking about Bible donkey dicks.
I know. I'm not going to say who. This just reminded me, though. One of our friends who is a professional tarot reader and like medium got an email the other day about like the person was like, I have low self-esteem and I can't get close to people because I have a fucking like a abnormally large penis, and the person we know was like, okay, I'll bite. Like, how do I fucking help you? And then they sent back a mirror pic. And I was like, wait, I'm like, okay, low key, that looks kind of real, first of all. And it was like down to their knees. It was really fucking stupid. But I'm like, I think that can happen. But so then I turn into Neve, like I always do from Catfish. And I'm like, do a Google image search, like a reverse image search. And they did it and it didn't return anything. And I'm like, oh my God, what if it's real? But then our friend was like, okay, but it looks like a horse dick. Like it looks like they photoshopped a horse dick on their, because horse dicks look weird, right? They have like a weird end. And then when they said that, I'm like, it does look like a horse dick. So I still don't know if it was real, but it looks kind of real. But then I was like, okay, if you really did have that problem, it was like a really big problem in your life, you would be like, can you please help me? And you would just describe it. You wouldn't send the fucking picture. You don't need to send the picture. You could just be like, can you help my self-esteem? Or like, can you help me how to relate to people? Or
you don't say that you have a self-esteem problem because of your big dick and then send someone a picture of your big dick. That's counterintuitive.
You're correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if it's real, if the photo that I saw was real, it is a problem. It's a real life problem for this person. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, so if it's a real big, huge, giant unit.
Yeah.
Then like that person has probably never had an erection.
Yeah.
Because it's fairly well known that men with oversized penises, if they do become erect, can only be erect for like brief minutes because so much blood goes to their penis that they pass out.
Jeez. How do you know that information, asshole?
Anyway, talking about people, I had someone 2 days ago, a person that I know, this guy, a friend of mine, I'm sure this is going to be listened to, but the conversation has already been had, so that's fine. But was mad because he said something on Twitter and I didn't respond to it. And then the next day, like he DM'd me and was like, what the fuck was up with that? Why didn't you respond to that? And I was like, sometimes I don't see what people post on Twitter. Like we had this huge conversation. I don't know how this works with other people, and maybe this is my brain, and maybe this is just the way my mind works. But when I'm on Twitter, I look at everything in my timeline to a certain time back, and I see it. But then I don't look at Twitter on my phone. I look at Twitter on my computer. So if I'm not sitting at my computer, there will be hours that go by when I don't see anything that anyone has posted.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not typical in this day and age. Like I know that people are constantly on their phone checking Twitter. But you know this, I'm bad with my phone. I set it down and then don't see it for 8 hours. Like you wake up and immediately get on your phone and start scrolling.
Yeah, that's my soft wake up.
Yeah. I wake up and make coffee and then listen to music, and then like 45 minutes later I get on my computer and I look at the first like 25 terrible garbage tweets, and then I turn off my computer and look at fun stuff.
Yeah, I could never do that. But okay, so first of all, first point to be made is I don't even see all my alerts from Twitter, and you have 10 times more followers than I do. So, of course, you're gonna miss some shit. And two, I don't know why people get all up in their fucking feelings about not getting their tweet liked. Like, okay, I see it, I read it. I'm not gonna like when I like your shit, everybody I know sees it. So it's like if you wrote some nonsensical bullshit or some like obvious bullshit, like I don't have to like it because it's just gonna spread it around and your tweet is like bland. Does that make any sense?
It
Like
is,
I
too,
don't
but also like I grew up, I'm an older man, and I grew up in the era like Twitter to me is a certain thing. It's a place where I post like a comment or a thought, and maybe one comment and one thought on other people's comments. But Twitter to me is not a chat room.
thank you.
And not only that, but again, this goes back to just how my brain works, and you know how my brain works to a certain degree. But like I retain a lot of information. It's a problem for me. Like when I read things, especially reading, that's like my medium. Like when I read things, they get stuck in my head, which is, I think, why I don't look at Twitter so much, because it becomes overwhelming. I remember tweets that people posted months ago. Like, and even if they wrote it just as like a flippant comment that never, like, I remember it personally. I think it's super odd when I will point out that someone tweeted something that is completely opposite of something they posted 2 months ago, and they're like, "How did you remember that?" I'm like, "Because I did." It's crazy to me that you don't remember that you held an opposite position on this 3 months ago.
Yep. That's how people get canceled.
Canceled. Old man Tenny, canceled.
Anyway, let's stop talking about fucking Twitter because maybe somebody out there doesn't have Twitter and they're like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Okay, fine. That was more a conversation about how I process information, though.
Another weird thing that I found out last night. I'm just gonna change the subject completely. Okay, so you know how I'm obsessed with Bailey Sarian and any true crime things on YouTube or otherwise. So I watched them all, and now I needed something last night to watch. So there's this girl, a British YouTube star named Eleanor Neal, and so I watched her episodes last night on Scotland's most notorious serial killer. And it was really good, actually. And it was like nice listening to a crime story in an accent. I will listen to anything that they're saying. But listen, you probably already know this because you watch BBC shit and whatever all the time. But she was talking about, okay, so they got the suspects together and they did a police lineup. But guess what they call the police lineup over there?
What?
An identity parade. I loved it so much. I'm like, that sounds way happier than it is.
That's funny.
I know. She's like, and then they got together and they did an identity parade. And I'm like, what? What? It's not a police lineup. And she said police lineup too, so that we would know what she was talking about. But I'm like, identity parade. So now I just want to watch every episode that she has to see what else they call shit.
Well, that's like the conversation we had earlier in the week about listening to like European podcasts and stuff, and hearing how in certain countries people are super polite even when they're arguing with each other.
I know.
When they say things like, "Listen, mate, you're a fucking cunt, but we're brothers and I love you."
Yeah. Yeah. Like me and you live in the wrong country, clearly. So we like make fun of each other, but we love each other, obviously.
Right?
Yeah, did somebody ask you after the last episode if we were married? What the fuck?
No, I think someone had the conversation with their spouse. Their spouse asked them if we were married.
Oh, guess what, motherfuckers? We're not married.
Which is why we're friends.
I know, which is why we actually like each other. Oh.
Oh!
I also, listen, I also almost killed us. No, it wasn't a bad one the other day, but so we went and got vegan Sammys because that's all we do. We went to our favorite Oakhouse Deli and got vegan Sammys. So we're driving home and I must have slammed on my brakes like I always do. And then we're driving and I go, Tenny, why do I feel like I can smell the root beer that I got? Because it was a canned root beer and it was in the back seat. And I'm like, I can fucking smell it out loud, the root beer. And then you picked it up. And from me slamming on my brakes, I fucking exploded my root beer.
You slammed on the brakes so hard, a root beer fell out of a bag and hit a padded seat and blew apart.
I hate when you try to make a point about me and then I just prove it right like a million times. That was so shitty. I really wanted that root beer.
I think the can is still in the garbage in my garage if you want it.
I'm not gonna drink it now. Also, it was funny because we were in the car and we both pulled out our phones to see who would order the vegan Sammys, and all of our outgoing and incoming calls to each other was just us. Yours said all my name and mine said all your name, and that's all that was on the screen. And we're like, "Where's help with that?" I'm like, John Tenney, John Tenney, John Tenney, Oakhouse Deli, John Tenney, John Tenney, John Tenney. That's all that was around there.
I feel like maybe we should just buy walkie-talkies.
I know. Can we do that? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure we could.
we live, I think, close enough to where it would work if we just had walkie-talkies.
That would be so fun. It would probably get better reception than our damn phones.
I'm going to look into buying us some walkie-talkies.
Oh my God. I will make a Patreon video of us talking on walkie-talkies.
Oh, you know what? In my garage, I bet you. Wow, my brain is blowing right now. I bet you in my garage I could put together, I bet you we could both have CBs in our house.
Oh my God. Wait, but then can other people hear it?
Yeah, but who cares? That would be funny.
Oh God. Do I have to have a big ass antenna outside?
No, I don't think so. I think they'd work close enough at this distance where we wouldn't. But you could be like, Breaker 1-9, this is Skunk Mama.
Oh my God. Breaker 1-9, this is Juice Box. Oh my God. Wait, going back in time here, what was that thing you posted about a cabbage monster?
Oh, there's like a sewer monster in Toronto back in the 70s, and it was near a place called Cabbage Town. And so the headline was The Tunnel Monster of Cabbage Town.
You literally just said that no other places have walkable sewers, and now you tell me about a cabbage monster in Toronto.
That's in Toronto. I'm saying there are places that have walkable sewers, but not all sewers are walkable. Most sewers are just small pipes. God.
I'm gonna walk up under your house and kill you in your sleep. Just kidding.
You should go to the salt. I should take you to the salt mines underneath Detroit.
What?
You've never been to the salt. Oh yeah, you've never been to the salt mines. Those are crazy.
Take me. Are they haunted?
Probably. I'm sure a lot of people have been killed down there and bodies stored and stuff. They are huge. You can drive semi-trucks underneath the city of Detroit for miles.
Doesn't salt have a memory? Isn't there like big salt? Is it like related to quartz? You know what I'm saying? How quartz has a memory? Isn't salt one of those things too? Am I crazy?
I mean, it's possible that all crystalline structures have a memory, and salt is crystalline.
No, not all of them do.
I'm just saying, if you're going to allow for one, you have to allow for a lot.
I don't have to do anything.
But anyway, it's always like, because of the salt mines, it's always, I think, like 68 degrees down there, like no matter what the temperature above ground is. And the city of Detroit store all, like they used to store all of their paper records down there because there's no moisture because the salt pulls it out of the atmosphere.
So some city is keeping records. That's nice for them.
Yeah. Good luck finding them or seeing them or getting access to them.
Wait, so who do we ask to go down there?
I'd have to check and see if the person I knew could still get us in to go underneath the city.
Okay.
Super cool to walk underneath the city of Detroit, and you literally could get lost. It's miles and miles and miles of giant tunnels underneath the city of Detroit.
Yeah, I know there's like old streets down there.
That's why people always, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but people worry that like if there's ever even like a minor quake in Detroit, like earthquake, like if the salt mine breaks and the Detroit River gets in the salt mine, it will collapse the salt, it'll deteriorate the salt, and then like the city of Detroit will plunge into the salt mines. Like the city of Detroit will be gone. Like it just goes.
Well, nobody talks about that enough.
No, they do not. And it's super interesting that you could, like a minor quake could end the city of Detroit. Like just giant sinkholes would open up all over Detroit. Dang. Good work, humans.
Wow. I know, like, also tell this at our church, too, because everything you're saying tonight is, like, really uplifting and positive.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Well, I'm not jacked up on grapefruit juice. Why did people go so crazy about me being jacked up on grapefruit juice?
I don't. You were a nutcase last episode. That's why.
I didn't drink any today, so I'm a little bit more relaxed and perhaps a little bit sad about the ending of our Earth.
Samesies. I'm not as jacked up this week either. I was gonna say too, when we were talking about Amy's podcast in the ghost case, whatever, she did another episode on Lizzie Borden, but she didn't do the B&B. She did Maplecroft, and it was really interesting. And then it made me remember that when me and Bean went to Lizzie Borden B&B, there was a cat there, and the cat put its fucking claw right in Bean's forehead and made him bleed. And I was like, you just got fucking fucked up by a cat at a haunted house. What? I felt bad. He didn't care. We know cats do that where they're like, bam, and they'll put like, and their claws like in their forehead.
That's what cats do.
I know. I was like, dang, dude, that cat was serious.
They're hunters, predators.
The stairwells are so steep at Lizzie Borden's. I remember I had to carry Bean up and down the steps because they were like, you know, those old houses are like vertical steps.
Well, do you know that is like, a lot of people don't know that too, but you, like all the weird stuff that I study, I'm sure people can look this up, but like one of the major causes of death in Victorian England was people falling down steps because there was no common step height or length. So they would just build steps wherever they could. And most of the servants were the people going up and down the steps. And so they would be carrying trays and food and laundry, so they couldn't hold on to handrails. A lot of times there weren't handrails anyway. So just imagine now like going up and down steps and you're carrying a giant tray with a bunch of food on it. Now imagine that the steps are all uneven heights and uneven lengths.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like they had, and we've been in other places like this too, where like they have like the front steps, but then they have like the secret back steps, and those are even worse. And I'm sure those are like the servant ones or whatever they were. But yeah, like it wasn't even so much the like the step up, but it was like the from the front to the back was so skinny you could like not even put your whole foot on a step.
Yeah. And there's this thing too, it's really interesting. I think it's called like adaptive quick memory or adaptive memory, but it's your body uses it when you're doing something repetitive like walking up steps, and it happens really fast. So like when you're going up, if I were to go in my upstairs right now, after I walk up 3 steps, my brain will assume that it's the same distance to the 4th step and the 5th step and the 6th step. So if one of those steps is even a quarter of an inch taller or shorter, my brain doesn't understand that. There's a subway stairwell in New York where one of the steps is like a quarter of an inch taller than the rest of the steps. And you can go on YouTube and watch videos of people falling all day long because their adaptive memory can't adjust to this one fucking step that's a quarter of an inch taller. It's really crazy.
I know what you're saying, and like I would do that. Like once I started the stairwell, I wouldn't like look at every step. I would just do it, and then I would just fall.
Right. You just plunge to the bottom.
I know.
And those steps were tall back then. It's crazy to think that like 100 years ago, someone figured out the math for stairs. Like you would have thought that this was something somebody would have figured out like 10,000 years ago. Like, oh, steps should be this tall and this high, and it should be this many like no one figured that out until like 100 years ago. A legit guy, and again, I can't remember his name, but like there's a legit guy who sat down and figured out the math, and that's how all stairs are still built to this day.
Yeah.
It's a pretty exciting conversation about stairs.
I mean, I just remembered something else that I've been meaning to tell you that is actually super exciting, and I wanted to tell you so I could hear your reaction. Okay, the zoo, which we haven't been, because it's been so freaking hot. We're not going to go there when it's this hot. But anyway.
But it's not hot today, yo. It's not hot today. No complaints about the heat.
No, it's not hot today, but it's going to get worse again. But anyway, so listen, like a couple weeks ago, the fucking polar bear tube finally opened.
Yes.
So we finally get to go in it. But listen, guess what else?
Penguins.
For the first time since, well, no, I didn't hear that yet. But for the first time since 2019, the train is running.
Yeah.
I know, I want to go on the train.
Yes, I need to go. I haven't been on the train since I was probably 10 years old.
Samesies.
Back when they had
No,
the chimpanzee show where the monkeys smoked cigarettes and stuff.
I still don't believe that.
That is a true fucking thing. The monkey show where it was two shows. One was the Cowboy Monkey Show where the monkeys would be dressed up like cowboys and they would shoot each other with cap guns and smoke cigarettes. And then they had the like rockabilly one where they would ride around on mini bikes with leather jackets and smoke cigarettes.
See, the title of this episode is either going to be Cowboy Monkey Show or or Guy with a Horse Penis. I think it's got to be Cowboy Monkey Show.
I mean, I feel obviously now, knowing what I know, I feel terrible about the Cowboy Monkey Show and stuff. But at the time, as a 10-year-old kid, I don't know, seeing one monkey in like a poodle skirt and another monkey in a leather jacket smoking a cigarette riding a mini bike around was pretty fucking great.
Well, I know you're not lying because they had that like history of the Detroit Zoo like sign, and we saw it, and they showed the freaking monkey show on there.
Yeah,
I know.
humans are not great.
No, we just use whatever we want to do whatever we want. We'll use a donkey to carry shit. We'll use a horse to do shit. Just leave them alone. Everybody leave animals alone. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do any of that. Somebody showed me horse pulling the other day. Have you ever seen fucking horse pulling or whatever the fuck it's called? It's like
I have
these
no
things
idea what that
they
is.
have. It's gross. I don't know how it's taken me this long to learn about it, but it's like this gross thing that they do at state fairs where they have two big like Clydesdale looking horses, and then they put like a sled on the back and make it carry slash tug giant blocks of cement for no reason, and it's called horse pulling. And then you just like see how fucking much weight the horses can pull. Like, are you joking? Like, and you can see them just wrenching their whole back when they're doing it. Like, what are we doing? What are you doing? It made me so mad. Pull your own cement, you fucking idiots. I don't care when humans do stupid shit, but like, don't bring somebody else into it because you're an idiot and you're boring. Like, if you weren't boring, you wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
This is like a real roller coaster of an episode. We're like, check out this cute thing, ha ha ha, so funny. And then we'll just bring you down with some bullshit, and then we'll bring you up, and then we'll bring you down, and then we'll bring you up, and then we'll bring you down.
That's just it, though.
That's us.
That's us.
That's life.
I got people asking me for like, Tenny, help me get out of my depression.
I know.
Like, you're asking the wrong motherfucker.
I know. I say it to everybody. I've been on antidepressants this whole year. They truly saved my life. And if anybody out there is depressed or having issues, like, there is no problem with getting on antidepressants. There is nothing to be ashamed about. If you fully believe that you're not living your best life and there is something wrong with your brain that's standing in your way, all you have to do is take medication. It's like not that hard. It's not embarrassing. Like, if you have a problem, it's like, it's not any different than like a physical ailment. If you broke your ankle, you would go get it fixed. If your brain's fucking broken, go get it fixed. It's like nothing to be ashamed about. It's the same thing. Like, help yourself, or ask a friend to like help you help yourself. Something like, you're not alone. And a lot of people with like nice lives or successful people are all on this stuff too. We're all on our own journey. You got to sort that stuff out because nobody's going to do it for you.
I also feel like too, like if you need to reach out to a friend, like reach out to a friend, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm just saying what I think, but like if you need to reach out to a friend, reach out to a friend, but be aware that like you don't fully understand what your friend is that you're reaching out to is going through. So don't expect your friend to be able to help you solve the problem that you're currently having.
Yeah, I see a lot of that online. Like, obviously it's okay to reach out to somebody, but like, not everyone you know is like a mental health professional. Like, that's where you should go really get help from somebody who knows exactly what to say to you. Because then what if your friend said something wrong and then you did something crazy and then it's on your friend? It's like, we're not trained. I'm not trained. Like, obviously their friends will be there for you, but there are professionals with training who know how to help you.
Yeah, and you can't if you reach out to your friend and your friend is like, I can't help you, you can't let that spiral you out of control.
Yeah, it's not their job.
Like, they can try, but they should also have, for as much as you should be able to say, like, I need help, they should be able to tell you, like, I can't right now.
Yeah. That was me this last weekend. Like, I'm taking on too much. I get too many messages every day. I talk to too many people. I'm like, I literally just need to. And next weekend too, we're going, we're gonna have a beach day, and sometimes you just need to like get away. Like, there's too much going on in the world now, and sometimes you just need to step away or like do things for yourself or clear your mind, clear your brain.
By the way, I'll tell you this. You said there's too much going on in the world. I went to the grocery store today,
Hmm.
Back to wearing a mask at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, I've been wearing masks in stores.
I'm back.
Yeah, yeah. You might as well. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I forget where I went the other day, but I was like the only one doing it. I'm like, whatever, whatever.
Why not?
Um, I, I would
I
like to
feel
talk
like though.
about.
Wait, I feel
Go
like
ahead.
though that means since I'm getting back to that point in my brain and mentality, and we're hitting like huge numbers again. I also feel like that means very soon we need to go back to Gus's in case everything closes down again.
That's a really good point. We'll go have one more night of fun, or maybe we can go to a bar this weekend, like somewhere, wherever
Oh
we're
yeah,
going.
yeah,
That would be fun.
yeah.
Yeah, or both. But I wanted to bring up we have a new podcast sponsor that I'm really excited about. Their Instagram is called at Original Sock Dogs. It's this lady and she makes like replicas of your pet. And they're like not I already have a pillow of Bean, but it's just like a photo of him. But these are like realistic, perfect versions of your pet. And when we went to Belvoir, she had made one for Amy and one for Adam, and they like lost their mind. And she also has like a new feature where you can send her like their voice, like their bark or their like meow or their purring or something, and put their noise in the pet. And when you squeeze it, you can hear it. And she can also put like if it's a dog that's passed, she can put like the ashes or like the hair in like a pouch inside the pet. But they're so cute. They're seriously so cute. She put so much thought and time into them. And she's making me a Bean one, so I'm gonna post that around once I get it. I'm just gonna lose it, I'm sure, but I
I
like
saw
needed it.
pictures. I saw pictures of some of the ones that she has online, and they're super cute.
I know. I'm still in a mindset where I need to talk to something or hold something. So I do have like this stuffy of Bean, but it's like not as good as the ones that she makes by a long shot. So I'm like really excited to get it just to like have something. But yeah, so her website is sockdogs.com, SOCK dogs.com. And her IG is original sock dogs.
That's like a real ad you just did.
I know I didn't mean to, but like you know this, and everybody should know this by now. We only accept or hype up stuff that we like really believe in, and like I was stunned. I know about every weird dog thing and stuff, and when I saw those, I'm like, these are fucking beautiful. Like, and then Old Town Roasting is like the best coffee I've ever had in my life. So it's like we only hype stuff that we're super into,
I drank
and make up
two.
things.
I drank 2 pots of Old Town Roasting. Old Town Roasting. I drank 2 pots today.
I gave my dad some of it today because they had sent us the strong kind and I can't do it. So I gave my dad the strong kind and then I have the weak kind. But yeah. So yeah, we have Old Town Roasting. And then I'm going to have to think of a song for Sock Dogs. It's just going to come organically. I don't know when it's going to happen. Me and you are going to be fucking somewhere and I'm going to be like,
Is our trip this weekend?
yes.
Oh shit.
Why? What do you got to do?
Nothing. I just thought for some reason I thought it was next weekend, but then no. Yeah, it is this
No.
weekend. I lost track
You
of
know what I'm
time.
thinking? I know. I'm really excited to go, but then also I'm like, oh, like I still haven't unpacked my bag from Belvoir. It's just sitting on the floor in my spare room, and I'm like, oh, I have to
You
pack
are
for the weekend.
ridiculous. Are you kidding me?
Okay, listen, this is what happens. When I get home from a trip, the night I get home, I unpack all my toiletries. So everything's in the bathroom, but like the shirts I didn't wear and like random shit that's in the bag, I just leave it there. So it's still in there.
Unbelievable. I walk in the house. I carry my luggage into the laundry room. I strip down to my underwear. I throw everything, including everything that's in my bag, whether I wore it or not, in the washing machine, do all of my wash, put all of my toiletries away, wash my suitcase. By that time, I can put stuff in the dryer, have something to finally eat because I'm home in my own space. Then when I'm done eating, I fold all my laundry and put it away.
Yeah, first of all, that's wonderful for you. I am a royal procrastinator. And two, I bring like 10 times as many things on a trip as you do. So you can put away your fucking 2 items, and I have a bunch of shit to put away, and I don't feel like it because I'm tired.
Whatever. What if there's Rona in that bag?
Well, it's dead now. I haven't touched it.
What if it's just been festering in there for
You're
weeks, getting
fucking
stronger?
fascinating.
What if
You're
it's becoming COVID gamma?
great.
Better, faster, stronger, harder.
Stop.
Better, faster, coronavirus.
That's its new theme song. See, we made a theme song for Corona and we don't have one for sock dogs yet. This is bullshit.
What are you doing tonight?
I'm gonna make some food right now and then I'm gonna I don't know. I see a client just texted me, so I have to answer her. Because people like to write me at super appropriate times for business, like 12:21 a.m. in the morning. What else am I gonna do? I don't know. I'll probably ride my exercise bike and watch another crime thing. What
I'll
about you?
probably take some more thirst trap photos of myself.
I mean, honestly, what the fuck? What are you gonna post next?
I already ate dinner, so I'm done. That's my whole night. I'm done. I'm gonna have I bought some ginger ale. I'm gonna have a ginger ale and vodka and listen to music until I fall asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Very nice. Is that it?
That's it.
I'm gonna go see if the skunk or the possum are in the backyard or the cat.
Go see him, skunk mama.
Okay, cabbage monster.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.